Hello, everyone. I'm Fernando Pinillos from Europe Federation and Communication Manager of MPA4Change, and I'm going to give you a brief overview on how we are going to implement this training program, okay? So the first question that I think we need to answer is why we are doing this. So following on Susan's insights on the necessity to implement adaptation plans to climate change, I think the answer is pretty obvious, and the needs, the existing needs to improve and achieve a more adaptive management and to give a response to climate change, to face climate change. So our main goal, both of the project and of the training, is to empower marine protected area managers to face climate change. And we will do this by providing a set of tools that have been validated, that are cost effective, and that have been tested during the previous years and during previous initiatives to adapt to climate change. Okay, so these tools, it's important to know that they are not only aiming data collection, but also interpretation. Okay, and with this interpretation, we also aim to allow marine protected area managers to take better management decisions. And with all of these, the ultimate goal will be to increase MPA's management effectiveness and resilience. So the target audience of this course, well, the course is intended mainly for marine protected area managers, but also experts that work for marine protected areas, like companies, research institutes, consultancies that provide the support. Okay, and we ask the participants to have a minimum set of skills, which is pretty basic, but since the course will be deployed mainly in English, English language is definitely compulsory. Although in the future, and we don't have much information on this, but we there will be modules of online content available on other languages, but it's something that at the moment we don't have yet. So the modules will start in English and then they will evolve to different languages. They will be translated. Participants also should be familiar with the operation of online platforms and databases, really basic operation of online platforms, browsing materials on the net, and databases for data collection and data sharing. And for the monitoring module, as you will learn later on, we have a monitoring module. We recommend to have minimum diving skills and previous experience on fieldwork and on monitoring programs. So then the training type we offer is it can be followed in two ways. It can, I mean, we deploy the materials online. There will be online modules that participants can review, and they can focus just on following the course online. And then there will be a hybrid training, which is the most interesting offer, and it will consist on the revision of the online materials, and it will follow by a face-to-face training in which participants will be able to consolidate the knowledge acquired online. Okay, so important to know that the online training will, since the module is delivered, the online training will remain open. So there is no specific date in which participants need to carry on the revision of the protocols and the methodologies. But for the hybrid training, there is specific days and a time frame in which the revision of materials should be done, because the face-to-face training indeed is a face-to-face workshop, and it has a specific, it will run during a specific dates. Okay, so those will be the main differences. But remember that the online materials will be always available, subject to review and improvements based on the feedback, but they will always be available. And we have two platforms in which the online courses will be delivered. So to start with, it will be Dan Europe's learning platform, and later on, they will be available also in Europark's European Nature Academy platform. So I'm not going to get really into details on the training modules, because my colleagues will explain this much better after my presentation. But just for you to know that during this year, we will deliver 3 main modules that contain different protocols and methodologies. And for example, in the monitoring protocols, we have 11 protocols that are based or focused on the assessment of different changes and status of marine ecosystems, species, and so on. a citizen science module that will be focused on basic research for divers, and then a module that combines vulnerability assessment protocols, climate change adaptation plans, and participatory approaches is all in one. And later during the year, we will deliver other modules like communication and restoration. So for each module of this hybrid training that I was mentioning, we will follow the same structure that will be scheduled at different stages during 2025. We will open the registrations once the materials are available online. We will open the registrations, and then the participants will be able to indicate their willingness to attend to the face-to-face sessions or just continue with the online training. Although we encourage participants that are under these, well, they meet the requirements to always apply to the face-to-face. So it will start with a review of the online materials. We will organize question and answer sessions after each tranche for answering or potential doubts that you have on the materials that you have reviewed. And for the online part, there will be a certificate issued. So once we move on forward from the online part, in order to do the selection of participants for the face-to-face, for those that have opted in, we will request an assignment, and we will carry on the selection of participants based on these assignments and in other based on other aspects that I will mention later on. Okay, so once the participants have been selected, they will be invited to join the face-to-face in the different tranches of the training. Remember, the modules will be added progressively, as I'm going to explain next, and the online materials will be always available after the face-to-face as well. So this is the preliminary training schedule. Okay, there will be these 3 different modules, and I explain now what is this 4th one. So the first module that we will launch will be on monitoring protocols for climate change assessment. It will start in March, and it will conclude in Portofino with the face-to-face training. So in yellow is the online part, and in blue is the face-to-face. We will have a citizen science module provided by WWF Europe that will open in around April, May, and it will close with the face-to-face training in Ustica Island. We will open the vulnerability assessment and adaptation plan module around June, and it will end with the face-to-face training in Brijuni, Croatia. And later on, after September, we will have again a monitoring protocols training with a face-to-face training in Tunisia. And this is co-organized with WWF, and it's focused on South Mediterranean countries. So we are trying to engage participants mainly from these countries. Okay. So to end with, just for you to understand a bit better what is the selection criteria for this face-to-face training. Well, the online training does not come with a selection process. We well, recommend the required skills that we mentioned in the beginning, and it's a free training. But after the online training, for those that opt in for the face-to-face training, we will base the selection of participants on the assignment that most likely will be the creation of a climate change adaptation plan, pretty much to see how the participants are going to implement what they have learned in each module. Okay. We also request a commitment to implement these tools, which will be reflected in the assignment, but also on the registration form. We will select participants also taking into account the geographic representativeness, because we want to have a good spread across the Mediterranean of participants. The certificate of the online completion of the online review of the materials will also be requested, and we will base, of course, the selection of participants on the experience and the skills. So there is quite a limited number of spaces for the face-to training at this stage of the project and of the training. That's why we have to really focus on carry on a good selection and the main message would be that this is intended for professionals that are ready to implement the monitoring protocols, the vulnerability assessment protocols, or the citizen science protocols.